is full stack development? What is front end and what is back end? Which should I learn first? If you have all of these questions and need a roadmap to be a full stack developer, then this video is for you. A full stack developer is a person who can build both front end and back end. So front end is what you see when you visit an application or a site, and it is usually built using HTML, CSS or JavaScript. So behind what you see in an application, there are many actions that takes place. Front end is communicating with the back end in order to fetch the data for you and show it to you. So back end is what gives the data to the front end. So front end, in order to store the data or update the data or delete the data or do any kind of data management, it's going to reach out to the backend. So the backend developers are going to be responsible for the data storage, security and other server-side functionalities of your application. So those knowledgeable in front end and back end are called as full stack developers, and as a full stack developer you will be able to build a website using HTML, CSS or JavaScript. You'll be able to code a server using Node.js or PHP or ASP, and you'll be able to communicate with the database using MySQL or MongoDB and many other databases. So here is the roadmap that I want to share with you, and my first suggestion is don't learn all at once. So there are many front-end frameworks, many back-end frameworks, many client-server communication methods, and learning all of it is not going to make you understand. So let's start with the basics. So if you're completely new, then I suggest that you first start with HTML and CSS. CSS skills are still required in all the modern frameworks. Start with it, build a website out of it, and once you're done and you're comfortable, move on to JavaScript. Learning JavaScript is like very useful for you because there are many frameworks in both backend and front end which uses JavaScript. So learn the JavaScript basics. I started with just refreshing my JavaScript skills, so you can do that too. And once you are confident with JavaScript, let's move on to learning the front-end framework. So the next thing is to choose a front-end framework and learn that. And there are so many front-end frameworks available, and I chose to learn React.js. If you're confused which framework is for you, then I suggest that if you have any dream company, then go over the job description for the role that you want to apply and see what framework they use, and you can learn exactly that. There are so many front-end frameworks, and it's not necessary that you learn all of it because once you have mastered one framework and build a good project out of it, the interviewer would know that you would be able to adapt and learn their framework too. You can learn the framework on any e-learning platform or YouTube, and I suggest that during the course also follow along and build a project out of it, and also build a personal project once you've finished the course to see if you really understood working on the framework to get more comfortable on it. So the next thing is backend development, and you can choose to learn Node.js for server-side programming. Since you have already learned the basics of JavaScript, this is going to be easier for you, and then you can choose which database you want to learn, like NoSQL or SQL. I personally feel that going with MongoDB was easier for me because it was easier for me to build rather than complex queries with SQL, but it's up to you. Some find SQL more easier. Yeah, you can find backend course and do a project along with it, and also a personal project after you have finished the course. Okay, so now you have mastered the front-end development and back-end development. Now the thing is you have to see how they both communicate with each other. For this, you're going to learn about building APIs, and you can choose to learn REST APIs. So REST APIs makes use of HTTP requests to access and use data, and there are also other options like GraphQL, which I would still suggest that you go with REST APIs. And by the way, if you're interested on GraphQL, then please check out my channel. I'm working on GraphQL series where we are going to build a GraphQL project together. And yeah, so once you know how front end and back end communicate with each other, for this again I did a full stack development course on Udemy. You can choose to learn from any platform, YouTube or paid courses. Once you are done, now the last thing to do is to build a complete full stack project, and you should build your own personal project. So following along the course and building a project is different, and you researching about some project topic and building a project out of it is completely different, because this is a time to test if you have really learned all of these skills, because we learned a lot, right? We learned front-end development, we learned back-end development, we learned how they communicate with each other. So it's a lot. Now you have to build a personal project and see if you have really mastered all of these skills. So for building full full stack projects, please check out my channel. I have a video on full stack project topic. I hope you found this video useful, and if so, please like this video and please subscribe to my channel. Let's meet again with another video. Bye.